to you by...
What we see is not always what it appears to be. Sometimes our own minds, our own perspectives paint a portrait that is not really laid out before us. We watch the world outside as we make our way around town.
Everyone else sees.
Even peer out our own windows, seeing a narrative play out that is different than the one everyone else sees. Because everything is ultimately about perspective. Hello friends, and welcome back to ETF, The Neighbor's Window, written and directed by Marshall Curry, that explores themes of longing, perspective, and the quiet struggles of adulthood. The story follows Allie, a mother feeling the weight of domestic life, who becomes fixated on a pair of young, carefree neighbors whose apartment is visible from her window. As she watches their seemingly perfect existence, filled with passion, spontaneity, and freedom, she begins to compare it to her own life, which has become routine and burdened with responsibility. Marshall Curry, primarily known for his documentary work, brings a naturalistic approach to the film's visual language. The cinematography by Wolfgang Held is simple, yet highly effective, using framing and perspective to reinforce the film's theme. The window serves as both a literal and metaphorical lens through which Allie sees an alternate life. The shots of the young couple's apartment are often framed from a distance, emphasizing Allie's role as an observer rather than a participant. This mirrors Hitchcockian voyeurism, a la Rear Window, but with a more intimate, melancholic tone rather than suspense. The warm, muted tones inside the couple's apartment contrast with the cooler, more subtle lighting of Allie's apartment. This subtle visual cue reinforces Allie's perception of their life as more exciting, youthful, and carefree. However, as the film progresses and we learn the truth, the brightness of the other apartment fades into sorrow, visually mirroring Allie's shift in understanding. Dizia delivers an exceptionally grounded performance. She doesn't need big dramatic monologues to communicate her frustration. Small sighs, eye movements, and the way she observes her husband and children reveal her inner world. Her expression when she hears the young woman's heartbreaking confession at the end is a masterclass in restrained, devastating emotion. Her husband's portrayal is understated but crucial. He represents the partner who is equally caught in routine, unaware of how deeply Allie is struggling with her monotony. Yet through his affection for their children, and the way he tries to connect with Allie, even if it's through humor, we see that their love still exists. Canfield delivers a small but powerful performance, particularly in the final scene, where she reveals that she has been watching Allie's life with envy. Her grief and exhaustion mirror Allie's earlier frustration, showing how perspective shifts everything. The Neighbor's Window taps into universal themes of longing, perspective, and the illusions we create about other people's lives. The obvious parallel here is a more introspective take. At the heart of this film is perceptual distortion, the way we interpret reality through our own biases and emotional states. Allie, feeling trapped in the mundane of raising children and a seemingly dull marriage, views her young neighbors as embodiments of freedom and passion. She unconsciously engages in upward social comparison, measuring her life against what she perceives as a superior one. People tend to compare themselves to others to evaluate their own lives, often resulting in dissatisfaction when they feel they fall short. I do this myself all the time. Allie focuses on the excitement and youthfulness of the couple's lives, filtering out any possible struggles they may have. This mirrors how social media often presents curated, idealized versions of life. The film plays with perspective. Initially, we only see Allie's viewpoint. She watches the couple with longing, unable to see beyond the surface. The turning point arrives when Allie learns that the young man was terminally ill. The revelation forces her to shift her perspective entirely, realizing that what she envied was not happiness, but a life fraught with tragedy. This theme exposes the illusion of comparative happiness, a universal struggle in which we assume others have better lives, not realizing that their burdens may be equal or even greater to ours. Allie's growing frustration with her life stems from a deeper psychological struggle, emotional displacement. Rather than confronting her dissatisfaction directly, she projects her emotions outward, focusing on the neighbor's seemingly perfect life instead of addressing the root of her feelings. Humans quickly adjust to circumstances, meaning that even things that once brought us joy, love, family, and a stable home, eventually lose their novelty. Allie's longing for the past is a direct result of this psychological tendency. Though not explicitly a midlife crisis, Allie's emotional turmoil aligns with the idea of identity revelation. She is no longer the carefree person she once was, and watching the young couple represents a lost version of herself. Allie's frustration is not just about the young couple's passion, it's about what she has lost within herself. Her resentment toward her husband and children is less about them and more about her own unfulfilled desires. The film subtly shows how her dissatisfaction grows alongside her obsession with watching the couple, emphasizing that external distractions do not resolve internal struggles. Ultimately, Allie is not just envious of you. She is grieving a part of herself that she feels has faded away. The twist at the end recontextualizes everything. The young woman was watching Allie just as much as Allie was watching her, not only of envy, but out of longing for a life she would never have. The reveal that the young man was sick and dying introduces the theme of unseen suffering and the emotional cost of caregiving. The young woman's life is not carefree, but emotionally and physically exhausting. Caregiving often leads to feelings of isolation and even role entrapment, much like Allie's experience as a mother, creating an unspoken parallel between them. The young woman imagines an alternate life where she is not burdened by illness and grief, just as Allie imagines a life without the weight of motherhood. Each woman romanticizes the other's experience, failing to see the hardships within it. This revelation is a crushing moment of clarity. The young woman, rather than living a wild, passionate life, has been trapped in a cycle of loss and care. The film highlights how acts of love often go unnoticed, until they are placed in contrast with suffering. Allie, now seeing her own life through a new perspective, realizes she has taken her family for granted. Throughout the film, she watches rather than acts. This speaks to a deeper psychological tendency, using observation as an escape from a personal dissatisfaction. By watching others, people can momentarily escape their own reality. Allie immerses herself in the couple's life as a way to mentally distance herself from her own. Watching allows her to feel something without the risk of direct involvement, a safe way to indulge in emotions that she may not want to confront in her own life. The film's use of framing reinforces this theme. Allie is constantly positioned behind the glass, separated from action. She never directly interacts with the neighbors until the very end, emphasizing how detachment can prevent true connection. Her voyeurism is a form of emotional numbing. She watches to avoid confronting the deeper issues in her own marriage and identity. The final moments of the film serve as a form of cognitive reappraisal, a psychological process where the person reinterprets an event in a way that alters their emotional response. Gratitude is often cultivated through perspective shifts. When Allie realizes the truth, her frustration transforms into appreciation. The realization that the others struggle just as much, if not more, forces an existential revelation of what truly matters in life. The final scene does not provide a grand resolution. Allie still has her husband, her children, and time, things the young woman is slowly losing. The subtle changes in her expression suggest a quiet acceptance. Not necessarily a radical transformation, but a deeper understanding of her own life value. The film resonates deeply because it captures a fundamental truth. We all long for something different, often without realizing what we already have. Through the interplay of perception, emotional displacement, caregiving, and even voyeurism, The Neighbor's Window explores the hidden burdens of existence and the necessity of gratitude. In the end, the film does not present a solution to Allie's struggles, because there is no simple solution. Instead, it offers something more profound, a shift in understanding, a reminder that everyone is carrying unseen, and what we envy in others may not be what it seems. Well, friends, that's going to be all for now. If you'd like to check out this film for yourself, I have linked it down below. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a like, subscribe for more content, help us get those watch hours up, and if you really want to help support the channel, then we have something in the works that's going to give you the opportunity to do that, and get you some fun rewards in the process. Until next time, stay safe. Try not to envy the lives of others, because they're likely just as burdened, if not more so, than you. And as always, thanks for watching.